A while back, there was this anime called Mobius Ring, or Cycle of Reincarnation. The town I lived in, Shiromitsugawa, helped sponsor it as a way of promoting tourism to the area. The show had some convoluted plot based off of local folklore. It left a big impression on a small group of dedicated fans, but most people disregard it as one of those oddball shows that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Alright. Hello. I don't know how I forgot this, but hello, welcome to this video and my channel. Okay. Continue on. Though it went down in anime history as a complete failure, it's unclear whether the bigwigs behind the original sponsorship deal are clueless to the fact or simply aren't willing to admit it. It's been 2 years since the anime aired, and here we are at the second annual Mobius Festival, a attempt to get some mileage out of the anime despite the local residents' overwhelming opposition to going through the cringe-worthy event a second time. So, as it turned out, the festivities end up being the furthest thing from anyone's mind.
皆さん落ち着いて、スタッフの誘導に従ってください。
A rather scantily clad cosplay shouts to the spattering of festival goers. The majority do as they're told, while the more die-hard enthusiasts continue their quest for the ideal camera angle and snap away. Pretty impressive dedication considering the rather substantial earthquake we went through a minute ago.
かけるな兄貴、持ってきやしたぜ。
I blink and turn around to find Soda, my younger sister.
おい、絆創膏。
Thank you.
I take the bandage and wrap it around my bloody right index finger.
結構ざっくりいっちゃったね。痛そう。
うかつに触るんじゃなかったな。あれやっぱダメか。
さあ、なんか難しい顔してたけど。あ、来た来た。気になるなら持ち主に聞いた方が早い。
Not bad. Where's back on?
さあ、なんか難しい顔してたけど。あ、来た来た。気になるなら持ち主に聞いた方が早いよ。
I look over where Sora is pointing to. Find a woman slowly walking towards us. She's one of the family that runs the shrine. And she works as a shrine maiden here. But she's just walking around in casual clothes rather than wearing a traditional shrine maiden outfit. It just ruins the whole festival atmosphere. Incidentally, she's also a teacher at our school, Hakusen Academy. And while I call her Miss Naruse like any good student would, she's always saying she prefers Satsuki-chan. A shrine maiden and a teacher. I guess you could say both of those jobs are something of a higher calling.
どうも、大変っすね。
ねえ、あのアニメで変な人うろつくようになって迷惑してたし、フェス中してざまあみろって感じだね。
As you can see, she has a lovely personality.
落書きされたこともある。
そうでしたね。
消毒液持ってきたんだけど、もう絆創膏しちゃった？
ああ、いいっすよ。軽く洗ったし。
古いものだし、未知のばい菌でもなければいいけど。
消毒液ください。 仁義ってやつ修復できそうですか？
I don't know how that happened.
弱っ。
うっせえな。
I accepted disinfectant and continued the conversation while pouring the liquid on my cut through the bandage.
仁義ってやつ修復できそうですか？
無理じゃないかな。完全に壊れちゃったし。これからは紙粘土とかで適当にレプリカ作って祀っておけばいいでしょ。マジっすか。いいんすかそれで。そう。
This should be a disaster, but Miss Notices seems oddly optimistic about it. Maybe apathetic is more of the word. The sacred relic. According to local mythology, there's a treasure bequeathed by God, and it also featured in that anime. It was no prop. Legend says it's a relic from the ancient times that has been safeguarded in this very shrine since the days of old. The sacred relic is an oval-shaped sphere no bigger than a fist. At first glance, looks like a rusty hunk of metal, but certainly does exude the aura of something rich with history. The shrine wasn't keeping it out on display for the festival, but during that earthquake a minute ago, it got smashed, much to our surprise. It rolled right off its pedestal and fell to the ground, or shattered into pieces. Though it looks like metal, it was apparently as fragile as glass. The resulting mess have been deemed a safety hazard. I was ordered to clean it up, which is how I ended up stupidly cutting my finger. Had I known this was in store for me, I would have taken this side job to begin with.
さてさて、新見兄弟。
はい。
ウィース。今日はもう帰っちゃっていいよ。フェスどころじゃないだろうし。
いいんすか？
いいんじゃない？知らないけど。ほんと適当だな。まあ、私はバイトじゃなくて遊びに来ただけだからいいんだけど。兄やん、帰ろうよ。
帰れるなら帰りたいな。
Take a glance.
ごめんなさい。今は写真はご遠慮していただけると、まだ自信あるかもしれないので、避難を。
Few guys with cameras are still crowded around the cosplayer, putting her in quite the awkward predicament.
九条さん真面目だね。
The cosplayer is Miyako Kujo. She's working the festival just like me, and not only does she go to the same school that I do, she's also in the same class. We've had a little interaction outside of that too. Well, sort of. Scripted. We hardly ever talk. Or not that I call close. Not by a long shot. But when I see her working so hard, it gives me second thoughts about taking Miss Nutter's advice and bailing.
あのレイヤーさんかわいいな。声優さん引っ張ってきたとか？声優さんっていうかスポンサーさん？コロナグループの社長令嬢。何？コロナグループって。
コロナ飲料なら聞いたことあるだろ。
コロナ？コーラとかの？そうそう。マジで？
マジ。割と有名だぞ。うちの学校にコロナのお嬢様いるって。
なんで社長令嬢自らあんなことしてるんすか？アニメがこけて住民に迷惑かけたのに見て見ぬふりはできないって一番辛い仕事を立候補。あの人個人がスポンサー？まさか企業として出資してるわけだし個人でお金出したりはしないでしょう。親のしたことに責任感じてるってことです？
そうなるな。
性格良さそう。実際いいよね。成績も上位だし。パーフェクト超人かよ。なんかムカつく写真撮っておこう。
取ってどうすんだよ。
いつか何らかの機会に脅しの道具として使えるかもしれない。
クズだなお前。
Not blackmailing.
親の格も違いすぎるよね。アマかけるとか中二ネームつけちゃう両親に育てられたせいで私こんなんなんすよ。
お前だいたい天って呼ばれるよな。
空って呼ばせたいなら普通の空でいいじゃんね。そのうち絶対解明してやる。せめて漢字は変えてやる。天さんってあだ名つけられたりしてそう、あの漫画みたいに。さよなら天さん。何それ。世代の差を感じてムカついたので早く帰ってください。
じゃあやることもなさそうなんで帰ります。
My god, I forgot how funny this was. I stand up and glance over at Kujo before ready to head back.
ごめんなさい。ポーズとかそういうのはないです。私ただの会場案内ですので。
She's having a hard time handling the few remaining guys who insist on taking pictures of her. She really looks like she's in a bind. I'm gonna do this later because when you normally start this up, you're automatically in this where I should just mind my own business. Well, it's not my problem. I'm sure she really appreciate if I dashingly stepped in to offer a helping hand, but unfortunately, I just can't muster the will to walk out onto the battlefield.
行くぞ空。
はいよー、さつきちゃんまたねー。お疲れ様
ー。They leave the shrine and start heading home. There are a few people who look like festival goers here and there. Probably heading towards the station, I bet.
にい、本当によかったの？
何が？
途中で帰っちゃって。一応クソフェスまだやってんじゃん。
俺は神社の手伝い。九条と違って正式なスタッフじゃない。
ああ、さつきちゃんに個人的に頼まれたってことね。
そういうこと。
She's really just my teacher, but Miss Narfa's parents and my parents have known each other since forever. So we're family friends. People running the shrine were probably looking for helping hands because they knew the festival was going to be a hassle. They said they couldn't trust the staff, which is why keeping guard on the sacred relic was my main task, but the job went south thanks to the whole natural disaster.
お前はいいのか？せっかく遊びに来たのに。
白蜜パフェってあったじゃん。
ああ、地名と白蜜をかけたあれね。
こんな小さいのに800円もした。味も普通だし、コンビニのスイーツの方がうまいし、楽しみにしてた自分を呪ったね。
あれ、グッズもついてたろ？
近くにいた人にあげようとしたんだけど、いっす、いらねっすって言われた。
おかしいな。参加者はアニメファンのはずなんだけどな。
絶対赤字だぞあのフェス。で、ちょい
なんだよ。
どこ行くの？
駅だよ。
なんで？
もう帰るだろ？
帰るけど、違うじゃん。家はあっちじゃん。
俺の家っつうか、俺の部屋はあっちだな。お前の家は一駅先だ。
私もあそこに住みたい。
無理、狭い。
てか、なんでニーヤンだけ一人暮らししてるわけ？納得いかないんだけど。
お前が一人部屋欲しいって毎日のようにダダこねて、お前にクソ甘いおとんとおかんが俺を家から追い出したからだろ。
それどこの世界線の話？
俺帰るぞ。
やだー、止めてよー。
嫌だね。
やだー。
As my sister shows off her pampered worldview, wherein she always gets her way so long as she whines hard enough. I drag her towards the station.
まっすぐ帰れよ。
はいはい、わかりました。バイバイ。
はい、バイバイ。
何、帰らないの？
帰る。お前が電車に乗り込んだらな。それまで俺はここを動かない。
くっそ、全く信用されてない。じゃあね、バイバイ。
はいはい、さようなら。
Sora stalks through the ticket gate and disappears into the crowd. I've been worried about whether the earthquake shut down any infrastructure, but the train station looked all clear. I'd be surprised if there weren't a few delays, but the trains are up and running just fine. Make sure to stand watch until Sora is completely out of sight. At which point I turn back. Shido Mitsugawa is something of a student town. Even here at the station, where there's a relatively large number of restaurants, it's never exactly bustling on a day off like today when all the students aren't around. It doesn't help that the town hardly gets any tourists. This town is somewhat well known because of the Corona beverage headquarters being here, so one might reasonably expect the town as a whole to also be in a good financial shape, but apparently that isn't enough to keep the whole town afloat. They went all out on the revitalization project with the anime and everything, hoping to make the place a hot tourist attraction, but this is all we have to show for it. Kujo suddenly popped in my head. Cleaning up a mess you inherit from your parents has got to be a pretty tough. Cleaning up a mess you inherit from your parents has got to be pretty tough for the daughter of the company president. I gotta applaud her efforts. As soon as I arrive at my apartment complex, the sun begins to set on the horizon. That unpopular festival should be just about over now. Man, I sure hope the earthquake earlier didn't make a mess of my place. I hurriedly opened the door. Despite my concerns, my apartment is surprisingly fine. Of course, I don't own anything I'm worried about getting busted up. Heck, I don't really own much to begin with. I don't even have a TV. The only thing I really care about is a laptop I use to get on the web. Turn on and take a seat, waiting for it to boot up. As of this spring, I'm a second year. That means it's already been a whole year since I moved into this apartment. Nowadays, this place feels more like home to me than my folks. The only issue I have are I have to fend for myself when it comes to meal, and I have to do all my own laundry. Washing and drying clothes are no big deal, but I've long since given up on ironing. I would clean up the place when I feel like it. Right after I started living on my own, I tried to get good at cooking, but nowadays I don't even try. I've thrown every spicy and seasoning I bought. Reason 1, cooking is a pain in the ass. Reason 2, it jacks up my electric bill more than I expected. Most of all, reason 3, my cooking just plain sucks. The trifecta of pain broken my spirits. Hence why my field consists of either convenience store lunches and packaged food from the supermarket, or I get up, take a peek at the clock. Working today has worn me out. Kick back and browse the web until it gets late. completely set and hunger starting to set in, I decided it's time to leave my apartment. My destination is my favorite spot, a place I've gone to for the past year since I started living on my own. I've been known to go there every day for long stretches, and at the least I go once a week. Cafe 9 Ball. Though it's nominally more of a coffee shop, they had a solid lunch and dinner menu, and not only is it cheap, portions are generous to boot. It's a haven for students like me. On weekdays, they're usually filled with the clamor of people stopping by on their way home from club activities. Considering it a day off, I can probably eat in peace and quiet. After I checked the daily special on the sandwich board in front of the restaurant, I opened the retro style door. God, it's been a while since I actually read.
いらっしゃいませ。
When I opened the door, the waitress greets me from farther in. She quickly comes to show me a table.
お一人様ですか？
はい。
お好きな席にどうぞ。
The cafe is practically empty. I take my favorite seat over by the window and peruse the menu.
お水をどうぞ。お決まりになりましたらお呼びください。
はい。
Kujo places my glass on the table and walks away. Yes, the same Kujo. Her service is by the book, and I have zero inclination to start up a conversation with her myself. We may be classmates. Obviously, there's a bit of a distance between the two of us. A friend liked to tease me, saying I would come here all the time because I got my sights on her. But honestly, I only recently realized the waitress is my favorite restaurant. At my favorite restaurant was my classmate Miyako's Kujo. After the ceremony at the school, I came here to grab a bite. Once I went to pay my check.
同じクラスになったね。これからよろしくね。
That's what Kujo ended up saying to me. That was when it finally clicked. Oh, duh. That's my new classmate, Kujo. It also hit me that the 9 Ball Cafe matched with the K in Kujo's name, which probably was a coincidence. You see, the retired founder of Corona Beverage, who is also Kujo's grandfather, manages and operates this cafe. I can be pretty oblivious to things outside my interests, I guess. Even Kujo got a chuckle out of it, saying, "Just figured it out now? Just now figured it out?" I mean, what with her changing her hair, putting on her glasses, and acting a lot different from what I see her at school, I feel like she should cut me a break. Anyway, that was the closest to a conversation we've ever come, either here or at school. Still, she's acting a bit differently today.
すいません。
はい。
Having decided on my order, I casually raise my hand and call Kujo over. Kujo trots over to me.
お伺いします。
ビーフカツレツのセットをライスで。
はい。ビーフカツレツのセットをライスで。以上でよろしいですか？
はい。
かしこまりました。
She briskly takes my order. Another part-timer I often see is standing nearby. I hear her say, "What? No Salisbury steak today?" It's kinda annoying, but Kujo does me a favor by not joining in her teasing. However, Kujo doesn't head to the kitchen. Instead, she stares at me with a slightly apologetic expression.
ごめんなさい、新見くん。少しだけいい？
Well, this is the first. The surprise request leave me at a loss. I end up meekly nodding my head in reply.
ありがとう。これ、見覚えないかな？
She said something on the table. I have no clue what it is, though.
アクセ？
多分髪飾りかな。神社に落ちていたの。落とし主を探していたのだけど見つからなくて。
ああ、それで俺に？
I pick it up and take a look at it. I'm not really a jewelry expert, but my guess is that it's made out of silver. The design looks like a flower. I think back, trying to recall if any of the festival goers were wearing this, but fortunately, my memory isn't what you call amazing.
悪い、わからないな。見覚えはない。
そう、ありがとう。彼女さんと一緒だったでしょ？もしかしたらって思って。
ん？彼女？
Yeah, wait,
あれ、一緒にいた。
あ、違う。妹だよ。
ごめんなさい。早とちりしちゃって。
あいつもたまに髪につけてるけど、多分違うな。どちらかといえば、九条の方がこういうの持ってそうだ。
そう？
いつもつけてる。
あ。私と気が合いそうな人を探せば見つかるかな。
かもな。
I set the hair club on the table and nudged it over towards Kujo.
ありがとう。ごめんなさい、時間取らせて。
どういたしまして。見つからないなら先生に預けておくのもいいかもな。
あ、そうね。それが良かったのかもしれない。自分で何とかしなきゃって思っちゃって。
責任感強いな。フェスも九条が一番頑張ってたし。
そんなことない。私は当日に少しお手伝いするだけだし。
写真撮られまくって大変だったろう。
ちょっとね。でもコスプレした時点で覚悟は決めてたから。
似合ってたけどな。
Not bad.
ちょっとね。でもコスプレした時点で覚悟は決めてたから。恥ずかしくはあったんだけど。
似合ってたけどな。ああ、妹が言ってたんだ。声優とか役者とかと勘違いしてた。
妹さんに伝えておいてもらっていい？ありがとうって。
わかった。
I blurted out some nonsense and found myself slightly flustered. Took a sip of water to cool down and tried to get the conversation back on track.
にしてもイベントの後にバイトって働きすぎだろ。すげえな。
バイトといっても家業のお手伝いみたいなものだから。
仕事は仕事だろ。お疲れ様。地震とか今日は大変だったな。
そうね。新見くんもお疲れ様。いつもありがとう。
いつも？
お店に来てくれて。
She smiles sweetly and heads off to the kitchen. Yikes. My heart's skipping. God, I'm such a pushover. Clear my throat, trying to get out the weird, awkward lump. Decided to kill some time until my food comes by playing with my smartphone. The place is empty, so dinner should come out fast. My inbox is filled with messages from Tor griping at me. I choose to ignore them and mark them all as read. I'll open up the game to waste my in-game stamina. Right about when I get to a good place to stop, I sense someone coming and lifting my eyes from the screen.
お待たせしました。ビーフカツレツセットです。
She lays out the dish. Looks delicious. You get a ton of food for 500 yen here. I can't help but wonder if they're actually making profit. But regardless, this place is a godsend for poor students like them. Huh?
コーラは頼んでないぞ。
さっきのお礼。嫌いだったら残してもいいから。ごゆっくりどうぞ。
She picks up her tray, bows her head slightly, and leaves. Not sure she should be thanking me. All I did was tell her I didn't know anything.
律儀だな。
I murmured to myself as I accepted her kind gesture and took a sip of the drink. Man, Kujo turned out to be easier to talk to than I expected. I always pictured her as being a little uptight. Makes me think maybe we could be friends.
いただきます。
Put my hands together in prayer for a moment, then grab my pair of chopsticks. Sharing a conversation with a girl I normally don't talk to is enough to make me slightly giddy. And I really am a softie.
ありがとうございました。
I finish my meal and exit the cafe. Weekday or weekend. This town is dead at night. There are more shops here than around my folks' place. But things are just as deserted here as they are there. Hardly any car pass through the streets late at night. So on a whim, I decided to live a little dangerously and go walk down the middle of the road. This is the kind of freedom I have now. Sure, I only started living here on my own so that Sora could have her bratty way. But nowadays, I adjusted to this lifestyle so much that the idea of going back to live with my folks just sounds like a pain in the ass. I decided to take a long way back home to burn off some calories. I'm right next to the shrine, so I figured I might as well go inside while I'm here. So I stepped through the imposing gate. Not a trace of the festival remains. The shrine has been returned to its usual somber mood. Also, it's pretty darn creepy in the dark. I got no business here, so I guess it's about time I head back. I swear I'm not just scared. 100%. Pick up a shadow. I pick up a dark shadow out of the corner of my eyes and give a little jump. Okay, just a cat? No. Wait. What is it? I get closer to confirm.
ぬいぐるみ?
Some anime emerge, I guess. Pretty, unconventional. I guess if I want to be nice, I could call it interesting. Yeah, that's a pretty interesting design. Must have dropped by a festival goer or staff member. Damn, I think it's good. I move it over to a spot where someone is more likely to see it. So yeah, I give it a little tap on the head.
じゃあな。
And then I end up talking to the plushie to try to cover up the fact that it did, in fact, scared me. Giving the plushie a look to hide my shame. I sigh and put the shrine behind me. I remember when it was my first time reading this, I was very spooked by the fact that you smile. But this will be a good stopping point. I'll try to typically stop at the next checkpoint. Alright. As you all know, thank you for stopping by, and I'll see you when I'll see you, and you'll see me when you'll see me.